Hey there, so for the past 5 years, I have been testing the world's best travel gear and suitcases and luggage nonstop. And in this video, I'm gonna report to you my findings. I'm gonna let you know what the best suitcases are. I'm gonna give you different picks for different budgets. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video because there I'll let you know my absolute favorite of all these options. And the best part of this video is that many of the suitcases we're going to discuss has their own in-depth review, which you can find linked below. And a special shout out to Voyage for partnering with us on this video. More information about them and their killer suitcases in just a sec. Now real fast, before we jump into this list, I wanna just kind of hone in and help you decide which one of these suitcases is best for you, because we're gonna be going all over the place. We're gonna be talking about carry-ons, check-ins, hardshell, softshell, really accessibly priced suitcases, and really not accessibly priced suitcases. So here's what I recommend. As you're watching this review, just kind of take note on the suitcases that you vibe with. From there, you gotta hone in on the price point. Because if you're on a budget, you're just not gonna be able to be as picky, which is why Traveler's Choice is so popular. It's really affordably priced for a really high quality, piece of gear. But if you do got budget, that really opens things up a little bit more, and you can look more into the OGIO right here, which is kind of like the Matrix suitcase. That is definitely more expensive, but has a lot more features, especially when it comes to protection. Another thing to consider is the size that you're looking for. Are you in the hunt for a small, speedy, and nimble carry-on that can just pop over top? Or, you're going for a longer trip, you got more stuff to pack, you've got a wife who loves souvenirs like mine, and you need to go bigger, like the Bellroy. And whenever you're ready to make a purchase or you want to find out more information, we highly suggest doing so with the links in the description below. 2 reasons why. First, those links will make sure that you get the best price. And second, we oftentimes negotiate discount codes with the brands that we review. So if we have any discount codes for any of the brands that we're talking about, and you want the best price, you can do so with the links down yonder. So first up on the list is gonna be a popular one. It's gonna be the SwissGear Sion, which is our pick for the best all-rounder soft suitcase. If you don't know, SwissGear is probably one of the most popular luggage brands in the world, like right there with Samsonite. And they're known for making gear their way. They're not really adapting to modern, sleek, and sexy standards. They're really focused on functionality and lower and more accessible price points. The biggest thing to know about this suitcase is the fact that it's a soft shell. It's not like a polycarbonate hard shell. And contrary to popular belief, it's actually gonna give you a more durable suitcase. Reason being, a hard shell, while technically a harder exterior, those exteriors can crack. But this polyester, it ain't cracking, ever. And the fabric is going to be extremely abrasion resistant on top of it. Now here's some key selling points that separate this suitcase from the competitors. Exterior access with volume. Notice these pockets. They're very accessible, and there's actually like capacity inside the pocket, which makes them actually usable. A lot of these suitcases, they have these external pockets, but it's just like, you can just like fit like a sheet of paper in there. This has got like beef to it. The other important thing just being this soft shell design, it totally changes the vibe of the suitcase. I do think that soft shells they're not very sexy, right? Even me, I'm a function over form person, but just barely. And for that reason, I don't think I'd use a soft shell, but I do think functionally speaking, it's probably a better suitcase. Reason being, you just have more malleability, which actually gives you more packing space. And the other really important thing about this suitcase is the price point, which is coming in at around 130 USD. Now, you can go cheaper than that in the world of suitcases, some of which we'll cover later in this video. It's not something that you wanna bottom out on, in my opinion. Like, don't go for the $40 suitcase, because then you're gonna get a $40 suitcase, and then you're gonna freaking hate your life when you get to your destination and the wheel breaks, or the handle splits, or the hard shell cracks, or a zipper pops off. Whatever it is, it's gonna ruin your vacation. So, in my experience, it's always better just to kind of tug it up and just spend that extra 50, 70 bucks if you're on a budget and get something like Swiss. Now, some final specs. It comes in 5 color options. It weighs 7 pounds. It can expand up to 45 liters. It comes with a 10-year limited warranty, but I will admit I've heard mixed reviews on, how well Swiss actually honors that warranty. And again, the price point's around 130 USD. But we have seen it as low as like 117 USD, depending on which site you buy it on. So if you are thinking about making a purchase, we recommend using the links in the description below, because we try and keep them updated with the lowest price. Next up, we got the Voyage Air Cabin Pro 20, which is our pick for the best vacuum sealed suitcase. Now we're going in the complete opposite direction here. I wanna give you like the spectrum, kind of like an old school Softshell suitcase made by Swiss to start. And then jumping into black Voyage here. This is a modern suitcase that's all about like its awesome feature set, such as the ability to lock the wheels, very helpful if you're traveling by train. Handles on the side that stay flush but do this little satisfying pull-out mechanism. Included TSA lock, wheels, quick little rant on wheels. These wheels are by Hinomoto. These Swiss wheels, in contrast, are no-name wheels. I assume they're probably made in-house by Swiss or just bought cheaply on the market. And with a suitcase, the first thing that will go are your wheels. And it's one of the biggest reasons why I often recommend paying extra for a great suitcase, because that's what you're paying for, is just really great hardware and really great wheels. And these wheels, made by Hinomoto, Hinomoto is just the best wheel maker that I've ever personally tested. So if I see a suitcase with Hinomoto wheels, I know that everything's gonna be okay. But here's where Black Voyage takes things to the next level. So you can see on the inside, we have this, which is a vacuum sealed bag. And you've got one on each side. Now here's the deal, I'm gonna be honest. I think that vacuum sealed backpacks, kind of overrated. But vacuum sealed suitcases make more sense to me, especially when we're not trying to save weight, because these vacuum sealed bags, they're a little heavy, they're a little cumbersome. But if you're not trying to cut down on weight and you are trying to cut down on the actual depth of your suitcase, then this starts to click and make more sense for me. And I've seen a lot of vacuum bag brands. They don't all do it as well as Black Voyage does it. You can tell that Black Voyage is a lot more interested in building a brand as opposed to just like drop shipping a cheap product from China. And what's great about these bags, as opposed to some of Black Voyage's competitors, is that they are removable, which means that if these were to ever get punctured, you can replace it and it won't render the entire suitcase unusable. But all these high quality materials and high quality hardware, it definitely is gonna come at a price. Now for the size, Black Voyage claims it's 40 liters, but you can actually get up to 60 liters in the suitcase given the vacuum compression. It weighs 7.8 pounds. It only comes in black, and it runs around 400 USD depending if there's a deal at that point in time, but that does come with a lifetime warranty. Now we did partner with Black Voyage on this video, but here at Nomads Nation, our whole thing is reviewing gear. So trust is priority number one. We only recommend brands that we actually use ourselves. Black Voyage has impressed us. And if you want to learn more about this suitcase and their awesome vacuum sealing technology, we got a full review which you can find linked below. Oh, and I forgot to, Black Voyage gave us this. I want to show you guys as well. This is their trunk, and it's got some junk in its trunk, that's for sure. And I like this suitcase because it's not like your typical luggage. It's got a completely different shape and just overall like kind of luxury vibe to it. And it packs a punch and can fit so much. This is for like those like 2-month trips. For all my digital nomad couples out there, this is a great option. We did a full review on this with our other Black Voyage review. You can find it all linked below. Now, if the price point of the Black Voyage got you all like overheated, let's swing this in the opposite direction and bring it back down to earth, like sea level. Our pick for the best super budget suitcase is the Amazon Basics. At the price point, I think the handles are quite nice, very well made and designed. And the telescopic handle too, for the price point, it don't feel too bad. I don't talk about telescopic handles as much unless there's something like really outstanding about it, because I find them to be kind of all the same. They're all just kind of like a little jiggly and you know, they all have different settings. To me, it's not a differentiating factor, but I will say at the price point, this one feels quite sturdy. Now there's currently 5 color options, and it currently comes in 3 sizes. Now this one's the medium check-in. There's a smaller one and a larger one, and the price fluctuating from around 60 bucks to around 100 bucks, with this one being around 80. It only comes with a 1-year warranty, but you know, at this price point, can you complain? We actually haven't shot a full review of this suitcase as of recording, but if we get enough requests, we certainly will. So be sure to check the links below to see if it's been shot. Next up, we got the Traveler's Choice 26-inch, which is our pick for the best hard shell suitcase all-rounder. And this one's been pretty popular on Amazon. Over 5,000 reviews and 4.5 stars. And I get why. I don't know if it's like better than the Amazon, like if it's fully worth the extra 50%, but there's definitely parts about it that feel a bit more premium. I think the actual design of this suitcase is a bit more, let's say, sophisticated. It's not quite as like elegant as some of the more modern, higher price point competitors like July and Away. Brands that have done really well by making really nicely designed suitcases in like those kind of like pastel colors. I think that's what Traveler's Choice is tapping into, but on a more budget, much more budget friendly. At this price point, you cannot expect name brand wheels. These are just generic, but in our testing, they seem pretty smooth, pretty durable. TSA lock at the top. I think it's a nice suitcase too if you like a little bit of extra built-in organization. 1, 2 packing cubes with the connection compression straps, a little side holster, 2 zippered pockets here, and the cave at the back. And I like a compression system like this because you can really tighten this and this whole thing just goes down, and it actually is a very, very effective means of compression. Versus like, in comparison, the Amazon, this ain't gonna do nothing. Like, this is just like, it might as well not even exist. It'll barely even hold your clothes in place. So you can tell that Traveler's Choice just put a little bit more thought into the functionality of the suitcase. And another big selling point for Traveler's Choice is their color options, of which this suitcase currently has 12. The 26-incher is actually 61 liters in size. It's a little heavy though, it weighs 8.8 pounds. And the cost is around 115 to 140 USD, depending on where you look online. And that does come with a 2-year warranty. So you can kind of see like Amazon's bottom of the barrel, right? You're getting a decent suitcase, but it's just the essentials. But if you spend a little bit more on the price, then you're gonna get double the warranty, more color options, a little bit better of an aesthetic, and a little bit smarter functionality in the suitcase. There's no right or wrong answer. I just kind of wanna like explain to you how this game works. Like, as you step up the price, in theory, you should step up the functionality as well. At least that's our goal, right? To show you really good suitcases that are really bringing value for their respective price points. Next up, we've got the Mous Optimal Hardshell Carry-On, which is my pick for the best suitcase. Because exactly. Because that's what this suitcase feels like when you use it. And this is actually, along with the Bellroy, which I'll talk about in a second, one of the suitcases I've used most recently. I just used this on a trip to Vietnam for 1 week. I went there for a business trip, checking on my backpack brand, Firo, hitting up the factories, you know, going to meetings, doing development stuff. So I needed to be fast, because it was a fast trip. And that's just kind of like that vibe. And I'm not a huge fan of Mous. I respect what they're doing. They're not my vibe necessarily, but I'm like, you know, I'm gonna give this a shot. And I freaking loved it. But it's also like really expensive. I think that fushy feeling is really amplified by the size, the actual dimensions of the suitcase. Whereas it's a little bit thinner and therefore also possibly a little bit wider than your typical carry-on suitcase. But that thinness just makes it just feel nimble and very speedy. The hardshell design is actually a soft shell with a coating, which Mous claims is actually more durable. And that goes back to like what I was talking about earlier, where a hard shell can crack very easily. So what Mous has done is they've taken this soft shell, applied the coating to it, and that gives it actually a little bit more malleability and give. So if it does like nail a corner or get thrown on the ground by the bag guys, then it's less likely to break. We've got this back pocket here, which I'll admit, I didn't really love. I tried to use it, I didn't get a lot of value out of it personally. But the handle, telescopic one, really nice to use, very smooth. And the inside is very minimalist. I mean, it's small. It's only 36 liters and it kind of feels a little bit tighter, to be honest. But it's also not as bad as it feels because this compression system worked very well. You can go ahead and cinch this on into place and tighten it, and then this pushes your clothes down. It was very effective for my week in Vietnam. And to add to that overall just feeling, we got Hinamoto wheels, ladies and gentlemen, which is the most important thing. But that and just the size, like the overall dimensions of this thing, I can't believe how much fun I had traveling with it. Now, this currently only comes in one color option. It weighs 6 pounds. As stated, it is 36 liters in size. And brace yourself, it's not cheap. This suitcase runs around 600 USD. But that does come with a 25-year limited lifetime warranty, and based on the comments that I've read on this channel, Mous has done a very good job of honoring that warranty. Full review, link below. Next up, we got the OGIO Renegade Vault Carry-On, which is my pick for the most protective suitcase. OGIO is an OG brand. They've been around for a long time. They make a lot of golf bags, and now they're really starting to like dive into new niches, EDC and travel bags in particular. And this suitcase is badass. I think it's an aesthetic that'll speak to a lot of people, just kind of like modern, matrixy. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's badass, there's no doubt about that. And all these ridges and different designs here just allow the suitcase to handle abrasion and like impact a lot better, making it less likely to crack. And it's got a nice texture to it as well. It just feels like a very premium suitcase. But the biggest selling point, I think, is just gonna be how protective it is. So you have all these like ridges and 3D cutouts, which make it less crackable, but you also have these corners here. Notice how reinforced all of these corners are. And the corners at the top are actually the most likely place that a suitcase will get cracked. I actually learned this from Bellroy because we'll talk about the suitcase in a second. They did this design right here. They said after their research, they learned that the top of the suitcase gets the most cracks, so that's why they introduced this design. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this design and whatever freaking steel material has been used here is just gonna, it's gonna be pretty darn durable. No doubt about that. Minimalist main compartment with the compression system that I am a fan of. We do have, it's a suitcase that offers expansion. We're using Hinomoto wheels, love that. And I think the telescopic handle is worth noting, where it feels like the most durable or like the most oomphy telescopic handle I've tested yet. You can see that it's got like this really interesting rubbery texture to it, which just gives it a little bit of extra functionality and an overall nice feel. And it just fits with the vibe of the suitcase. It's definitely like a dad suitcase. It's definitely like somebody who like goes to the gym, likes to lift, badass dude who wants a badass suitcase. Now this suitcase currently comes in 6 color options. It weighs 8.2 pounds. It is 35 liters that can expand to 40 liters. And it runs around 350 USD. Now OGIO's warranty situation is a little bit complicated. It depends if you buy it from the US and Canada or worldwide, but warranties do exist. And finally, ladies and gents, we got the Bellroy Transit Check-In, which is my pick for the best looking suitcase. And that's gonna vary from person to person, right? I just like this style though. And this style actually comes in different sizes. You got smaller carry-on sizes as well. And I have traveled with all of them. And they've all got this protective top design, again, trying to make sure the corners of your suitcase, the most vulnerable parts of your suitcase, are less likely to get damaged. And I literally just took this exact suitcase on a 1-month trip from where I live in Hong Kong to where I used to live in the States while I was visiting family. And it performed brilliantly. I went from Hong Kong to San Francisco to Miami, and then back from Miami, Los Angeles to Hong Kong. So it has now seen some miles, and you can see, it looks brand new. I mean, it got dinged up a little bit, but more or less, it handled the travels quite well. Bellroy's got these nice little touches, like the texture they put on this handle, like it just feels a bit more luxurious. We've got Hinomoto wheels, and I'm telling you, these felt amazing as I was traveling with them. But what's really interesting about this suitcase is that it's designed in a way that makes it very repairable. And check Bellroy's website, you can see what I'm saying, where they've built everything to be accessible and easily replaced. So let's say you're on the road, let's say you're like me, you're heading to Florida to visit your family for a month, and a wheel breaks on you, or the telescopic handle the bed. In theory, you can just order a new one from Bellroy, get it expedited over, easily replace it yourself, and then, your trip's hopefully not like ruined from that experience. And then just on the premium vibes, Bellroy's interior game is one of the best. And for some people, it's not gonna mean a lot, but for me, it does. Like, I just like that little sense of like joy and artsiness, just something really nice when I open the suitcase. But that doesn't come at the cost of functionality, because these were great for organizing all my travel stuff. Compression straps right here were fantastic as well. Now remember, this suitcase comes in a bunch of different sizes. This one is the Transit Check-In 69 liter. It weighs 8.6 pounds and it runs around 400 USD. And Bellroy offers a 10-year warranty on all of our suitcases and a 3-year warranty on their replacement parts. Full review of this suitcase is linked below. Now, if you're still watching this, it's probably because you're not quite sure which direction to take. If that's the case, like I said, just make it simple. If you're looking for a lower budget and you're attracted more to a soft shell suitcase, just go with SwissGear. If you want a hard shell, then Traveler's Choice or Amazon are the best 2 options. You just gotta decide if you're on like an ultra thin budget or if you wanna splurge slightly more. But if you are ready to splurge even more than that and you wanna actually put a proper investment into your suitcase, these are probably gonna be our top 2 recommendations. Black Voyage is our pick for a carry-on. It looks amazing, it feels great to use, and the backing compression actually works. And if you're looking for a check-in, this Bellroy just made me a very happy traveler last month. And if you really dig the design, it comes in smaller sizes and larger sizes. And if you want to learn more about either of these suitcases, you can do so with these reviews right here. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.